Phillies are here. They've won 6 in a row. Dodgers trying to slow them down. Coming off winning 2 of 3 to finish off the road trip. Took 2 of 3 from San Francisco after dropping the opener of that set and trying to build momentum into this homestand. 3 with the Phillies and 3 with the Giants. And we say welcome inside. So glad that you're with us tonight. Joe Davis with Oral Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, and Nomar Garciaparra join us in just a moment. And it is good to be back home, isn't it?
It's fantastic. You know, you're going to win a championship. You're going to win it at home. You're going to try and play 500 on the road. The Dodgers aren't quite there yet, but they are above 500 here. They're playing 600, and they'd like to strengthen that record here at home.
Jared Eichhoff goes for the Phillies. It'll be Kenta Maeda for the Dodgers, and more on him. Here's Alana.
Well, Joe and Oral, the 1-2 record and 8.05 earned run average are the numeric proof that Kenta Maeda has struggled this season. But Dave Roberts knows it's not because of a lack of effort. When I asked him earlier today what he wanted to see and what he needed to see from Kenta Maeda, he said, I want him to go out there and I want him to compete. He wants to have that fastball command. He also wants him to have conviction in that fastball as well as his secondary stuff, guys.
All right, Alana, we mentioned Nomar is in the building. Nomar, where exactly are you tonight?
Well, I am in the Loge level, and I don't know if fans know this. We talk about there's great seats everywhere at Dodger Stadium, but there is a party box level on the Loge level spread out throughout this area. That's where I am. I'm going to have a party up here. Listen, my friends are stuck in traffic. They're on their way right now. That's why it's empty. But at the same time, you know, this is a great view. There's so many things you can do. You can come out here with friends and family, a group. I talked about the left field pavilion last time I was out there, brought back childhood memories. This party area is going to bring me back to my college days, I think.
Hopefully it fills up for you, Nomar. Hopefully the college days aren't empty dorm room that you're talking about. Dodgers and Phillies in a weekend series with the first pitch coming up in just a moment. Bellinger taking the field for his Dodgers Stadium debut tonight after his Major League debut this week in San Francisco. He starts in left for the Dodgers as they open a 3-game series with the Philadelphia Phillies. And the Phillies lineup in this opener is brought to you by Honda. The Phillies offense last year was dead last in the majors in runs, but much better on this young season. Cesar Hernandez leads it off, then Freddie Galvis. Odubel Herrera hits third, followed by Maikel Franco. The former Blue Jay Michael Saunders out of the 5 spot, then Aaron Altair, Tommy Joseph, and Cameron Rupp in front of the pitcher Jared Eichhoff. So you know the story for Kenta Maeda so far. It's not been a good one. 17 runs in 19 innings so far. That included allowing a career-high 4 home runs his last time out. And he's admitted, Earl, that his confidence right now is a little bit shaken.
You know what? He has confidence in throwing strikes, but it's when he has the ball in the strike zone that's been the problem. That's where he's really gotten hammered, and especially with the fastball. So it's a difference between having control, which is throwing strikes, and command, which is commanding the ball down in the strike zone and getting ahead of hitters in a place where they can't hit it very well. And so he needs to get the ball hit on the ground a little bit more.
When he had issues last year, it was largely not relying on the fastball enough. Now he's being a little bit too reliant on it. And as he's trying to throw it a little bit harder, the command suffering, and those 7 home runs that he's given up through 4 starts. Cesar Hernandez climbs in to get this series started. Maeda threw his windup. And off we go in game 1 with ball 1. The Phillies have won 6 in a row after a 5-9 start. Haven't won 7 straight in 5 years. Here's a 1-0. And it's lined to right, but Kike Hernandez starting there for only the 4th time in his career. The LCL Puig getting his first day off. Has it for the first out.
Shortstop, number 13, Freddie Galvis.
Freddie Galvis now. Dodgers have won 2 of 3 after the 1-3 start to the road trip. Dropping 2 of 3 at Arizona, then losing the opener against San Francisco. Big bounce back win for them last night. 5-1 in extra innings after a heartbreaking extra innings loss the day before. First one to Galvis is in there for a strike.
You know, the wind was really blowing here during batting practice, and it is still blowing. We thought maybe when the sun starts to head down that it would calm down, but we are having one of those nights, maybe 3 or 4 a year here at Dodger Stadium, where they really blowing.
It's 1-1.
And it's going to carry to right field. Ball will get knocked down to left and to center, but in right field, especially down the line, you can take a ride on it.
A breaking ball is swung on and missed, and it's 1-2.
It's going to affect pick selection too from Maeda. I'll tell you, you know, when he throws that curveball right there, he didn't all of a sudden want to throw it for a strike. Yasmani set up away because you don't want the ball hit to right in the air.
Calls for an off speed on 1-2. Here it comes, and it's spiked in there. 2-2. Maeda has faced the Phillies twice, both last year in his rookie season, beat them both times, en route to finishing 3rd in the National League Rookie of the Year race behind Corey Seager and Trey Turner.
This is definitely a different Phillies team. Team that's starting to mature a little bit. Got their experience last year. You think of a young, aggressive team, you think of somebody that attacks, and these guys see the most pitches of anybody in the big leagues. Almost 4 pitches per at bat. They were 27th in the big leagues last year. We see an old familiar face there, Howie Kendrick.
Maeda to Galvis with another 2-2 and a ground ball. Fair at first for Adrian Gonzalez in the 2nd out. And the Phillies a year ago Started the season similarly, went 22-15 to begin, had the third best record in the National League, but from there had the worst record in baseball as that young team wore down, had starting pitching health issues, and what was Pete Maccannon's first season as the skipper. At least the first full season, took over in an interim role in 2015 when Ryan Sandberg was let go. 2 gone for Odubel Herrera. He was their lone all-star a year ago. Earned himself an extension this offseason. He's only 25, but they have him signed now through the 2021 campaign. Breaking ball is in, strike 1. Here's an 0-1. Hit off of the handle to second. Chase Utley's got it. And a 1-2-3 first inning for Kenta Maeda. Dodgers come to bat for the first time in this homestand against Jared Eichhoff when you come back.
Righties, but I was just curious. All right, thanks.
What makes me laugh is just being around funny people.
One of the windiest nights of the year here in Los Angeles. Dodgers and Phillies meeting up to open this 3-game series. And the Dodgers starting lineup is brought to you by Honda. Andrew Tolles leads it off. Then it's Seager and Turner, who are both hot. Gonzalez hits cleanup. Grandal catches and bats 5th. Chase Utley sliding up the lineup a touch to hit 6th in front of Bellinger, Hernandez, and Maeda. Jared Eichhoff, the Phillies starter for this one. His first 45 career starts role. Only has a .336 earned run average, and the only reason I heap those numbers at you is to tell you that the last guy to do it before him, Noah Syndergaard.
An awful lot of potential on the mound. The young man knows how to pitch and really has a superior out pitch. His curveball is very, very good.
Tolles leading off against him. And quickly behind 0-2.
Eichhoff's curveball is one of those ones that really is sharp late. And he's dealing with a wind here today. If it's like that on the mound, that'll actually enhance it into lefties and away to righties. It's interesting when it's windy, you always talk about how it's going to affect fly balls, but it can affect you on the mound too with your pitch selection.
That one curves so much it almost hits Tolles.
Something right there. I mean, he might not be used to it. He's been throwing the curveball in the bullpen. Maybe he threw a few here in warm-ups, but with the adrenaline and all of a sudden the first one in the game, it is definitely going to help the ball bend right to left.
And in the bullpen, that's completely blocked off from the wind, so he wouldn't feel the effects. Throws it again down the middle this time for strike 3. One gone in the first. Here's Corey Seager. We look at the Land Rover Performance Spotlight.
Corey Seager is aggressive. He's aggressive this year. The statistics you're looking at are from last year on the first pitch. He had 5 home runs last year on first pitch. Had the 3rd most at bats where the ball was put in play on the very first pitch last year. One of the most aggressive hitters in the big leagues. And he waits for strikes, though. It's not just about hacking. It's about getting a pitch he likes.
Homered in back-to-back games. Takes ball 1 here. He has a hit in 5 consecutive games.
Here are the stats from last year. Altuve, Robinson Cano, and then Corey Seager. Some pretty good company.
It's outside. It's 2-0. Yeah, I think anytime you're looking at a kind of a unique stat category like that one, it's important to look at the other guys that are up near the top of the category. And when they're Jose Altuve and Robinson Cano and Corey Seager, you know, it's probably a pretty good indication of a good player. 2-1.
There was a good player up there in the party box right now that loved to attack the first pitch.
It's often a misconception. People think, oh, they're too aggressive, they're not patient. It's really about being ready once you step in the box and looking for your spot. And I think for Corey Seager, when he gets in there, he is looking particularly an area. So let's say it's either the middle or if it's away, whatever his plan is in that particular at bat. And if you throw it there, whether it's a fastball or a breaking ball, he's ready to attack it and not let it go.
Sitting pretty here, waiting on a 3-1 pitch and cutting through it. 3-2.
Could be a very interesting night again for the offense. We came from San Francisco where it was hard to score runs. If the ball is not hit down the right field line, this could be a low-scoring game.
To left, into the teeth of the wind. Altair is there, and that ball on just about any other night sails right into the pavilion, or at least into the corner there for a home run.
Yeah, Corey didn't slice that ball. It had a lot of backspin, and it was smoked. He hits a lot of hard balls to left field. He really hits a lot of hard balls all over the field. And that was not deflected. He knows it, but he also knows about that wind tonight.
2 out in the first, and Justin Turner riding the longest hitting streak in the majors, not just active, but period this year, and extending it to 14 on the first pitch that he sees from Eichhoff.
I tell you, when you're in a hit streak, you know it because people are asking you about it before the game, after the game, and sometimes it's in your head, but you're going, if I can get out of the way, especially in that first at-bat, you feel so much better. Now you don't even have to stress about it, but Justin Turner getting on top of that ball beautifully, driving it up the middle.
To keep this first inning going for Adrian Gonzalez. Eichhoff from the stretch for the first time comes home, and Gonzalez looks at strike 1. Adrian walked yesterday during the 10th inning rally. Ross Stripling pinch ran for him and scored the go-ahead run. On the 0-1. That wraps around the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Did you see Ross's quotes after the game? They asked him about him running, and he said, hey, I'm probably faster than you think I am. I'd say on a 10 scale, I'm a 6.5.
Oh, that's really proud.
He's a high school receiver, Stripling was. I didn't say if he was a burner or if he was a possession guy.
He did the button hook.
Right. The 1-1. Caught in the foul tip, 1-2.
Adrian doesn't always get full days off, even when Dave Roberts tries to get him off his feet, to give his arm a little rest, give his legs a little rest. With a 4-man bench and a 7-man bullpen, usually end up using all your parts.
Eichhoff lets the 1-2 fly, and it's right down the middle on a breaking ball for strike 3. Gets Gonzalez the same way he got Tolles to start the inning. That's with a curve looking. The second inning, no score, game 1. Dodgers and Phillies. Dodgers and Giants face off in the back end of this homestand, Monday through Wednesday. Kershaw against Cueto will open that series on Monday, and the series will finish with Vince Scully night. Maeda worked the 1-2-3 first inning and now gets Maikel Franco to open the second. They're hoping for a bounce back year from this young right-handed hitter. Had a breakout season in 2015 and was in the Rookie of the Year discussion for a while before an injury. Then last year, pretty disappointing. Maeda's first pitch of the second is banged to first, but Adrian's got it. With the overshift on the right-handed hitter, you don't see that nearly as often as you do the left-handed hitter. Hit it right at the lone man on the right side.
Let's take a look at the Volkswagen slow-mo cam, and I'll tell you what, this is in slow motion, but it makes Kenta Maeda feel really good. On a scale of 1 to 10, Adrian's ups are about a 3.
That's the Ross Stripling sprinting scale.
Yeah, but Kenta Maeda's given up the line drive to right and that line drive to Adrian, and that can impact your confidence. You don't feel good about the way the ball's being hit, but it gives you confidence to just get in the strike zone, let your defense work.
Michael Saunders taking a strike.
Key pitch right there, that slow curve ball to get people off his fastball later in the count. He doesn't throw it to strike people out, but he does throw it to steal strikes. And it's one less pitch that they get information on as far as his fastball.
1-1. And we were talking about the Phillies being so young last year. They were the youngest team in baseball. They're still one of the youngest, but guys like Michael Saunders have been added to the equation. More veteran players on one-year deals. Grounded foul, and it's 1-2, and that's by design. They're still rebuilding. They don't necessarily look at this as a year where they're going to break through. Howie Kendrick, one of those guys. Clay Buchholz they signed. He's injured right now, but there's several guys on the roster they look at in these one-year deals potentially being trade candidates if they perform well to help flip for more prospects to help in their rebuild. Maeda pitches 1-2, and it's line foul.
In some ways, it's like an extended spring training where those veterans get to play and they go to spring and they can accumulate their numbers and get ready for the future of their career. But as far as the organization, they know there's not any long-term plans for them. But you don't want to put out all kids out there. You can actually ruin their confidence, and these veterans teach them how to win.
2-2.
Teach them the process. Nomar did that with a lot of young kids here when he was a Dodger. They brought Nomar over as a veteran to kind of school a lot of the young guys, the Ethiers and the Kemps and that generation.
Full count, Nomar.
You always remember the veterans that actually either took you under your wing or also just helped you throughout your career, because it went, like you said, if you're surrounded by all young guys, you guys are learning kind of together. But when you actually have a young guy or an older guy who has the experience and you can go to them, and when a certain situation pops up that you didn't experience down in the minors, it's really important to be able to pick their brain.
Base is empty with one gone in the second. Maeda to Saunders with a payoff, and he's got his first punch out of the game.
Little cutter down and under his swing, and really good location. You don't want to leave this on the plate with the way the wind's blowing. You got to get it down, hope it's hit on the ground, or you got to get it in to make sure it's pulled foul. You got him to miss.
Five up and 5 down for him now, and it's Aaron Altair to the plate in a scoreless second inning. Altair taking advantage of Howie Kendrick's injury. Fastball rides over the inside half at 94, strike one. Kendrick was a starting left fielder on opening day, but he's out with an oblique injury and figures to be out until mid-May. Altair's taking advantage, though, with an 8-game hitting streak prior to going 0 for 1 yesterday. Outside, 1-1.
That one missed by a lot. That shows a little bit of lack of commitment to a fastball into a righty right there. Yasmani was setting in on the edge and threw it in the left-hand batter's box.
On 1-1, comes back with a pitch that's lifted in foul ground. If there's ever a night, though, when you're struggling to pitch inside against right-handed pitching, wouldn't tonight be the night to just forget about it and start pounding in there with the way the wind's blowing?
I would love to pitch inside tonight to the righties for sure. You'd want to get in on their handle, and you wouldn't want to live away and let them drive the ball to right field and feel comfortable kind of diving out there.
And I think that's one of the problems for Kenta, because as a hitter, I know I can give up the inside because he's afraid to go in there. So I can actually lean over the plate and take advantage of his off speed.
And Maeda with a strikeout of Altair. Back-to-back Ks to finish the second. 6 up and 6 down for Kenta. Dodger half of the second inning. We take a look at our Coors Light cold hard facts. He has been really good against the Phillies. Among guys with at least 75 plate appearances, he has the #1 OPS against Philadelphia in his career. 18 games and he's hit 7 home runs against the Phillies. Waits on the first one from Jared Eichhoff and watches it catch the outside corner for a strike. Now the 0-1. That's up, ball 1.
With what you showed about Yasmani there and the power that he's at against the Phillies, that's not a good equation for the Phillies. Eichhoff was one of the leaders in home runs allowed last year. Gave up 30.
1-2.
Young man pounds the strike zone, has an exceptional curveball, but doesn't have exceptional velocity, so he really has to pitch to the corners.
Wants it down on 1-2, gets it there, and Grandal can't lay off. Eichhoff has his 3rd strikeout, 1 gone in the second. We go down to Alana.
Well, guys, after this 3-game set with the Philadelphia Phillies, another divisional series with guys that we just saw. San Francisco comes to town for a 3-game set starting on Monday, and the expected pitching matchup for that one is a good one. Clayton Kershaw against the right-hander Johnny Cueto. Still a lot of tickets available. Dodgers.com/tickets. It'll be a matchup you don't want to miss. And as far as that series is concerned, on Tuesday, Matt Moore is expected to go, and you can also expect Franklin Gutierrez to be activated against that left-handed pitcher.
All right, Alana, a lot of Dodgers getting healthy. Chase Utley takes ball 1. Dave Roberts said today that it is not out of the question that Gutierrez, Peterson, and Forsythe could all be active by next weekend in San Diego. Eichhoff to the longtime Philly, Chase Utley, who lines the ball to center, hangs up in the wind for Odubel Herrera. 2 out.
Another ball crushed. Another ball that the wind just eats up.
Left
Phil
fielder,
Sutley a
number
victim,
35,
and Corey Seager a victim.
Cody Bellinger.
And Cody Bellinger to the plate for his first at bat at Dodger Stadium, and his family was in town in San Francisco for his debut. They're back at Dodger Stadium for his home debut.
Building up some frequent flyer miles.
Bellinger takes ball one. Cody in his debut series 1 for 10. That lone hit for the top power hitting prospect in the minors was an infield single off the end of the bat. The 1-0 inside, 2-0, and that's where the Giants pounded him.
He's backed off the plate a little bit. He was almost on the white line, the chalk of the batter's box. He's backed off about 3-4 inches. The line's a little narrower here at Dodger Stadium.
2-1.
But when he goes back and watches the video with Turner Ward and takes a look, and probably getting advice from other veteran left-handed hitters like Adrian Gonzalez, that once the league starts to go to a certain area, you're going to have to make sure you can cover it.
Going down and away with a 2-1, and Bellinger gets extended this time but misses, and it's 2-2.
AAA pitching, AA pitching doesn't throw strikes as often on the inside half of the plate. They miss in there, and Cody could feast on it. Over here, they're going to get a few less on the heart of the plate. They're going to be able to pound it in there and get strikes or back you off.
Now, he has 5 strikeouts in his first 10 at-bats, but he's worked some counts. Does it again here with 2 gone in the second.
They don't throw a lot of 3-2 curveballs with nobody on and 2 out. AAA either.
Don't do that to everybody at this level either.
Well, you think about it, you know, the ace at AAA and maybe the closer make it to the big leagues that year, and maybe the 3rd hitter and the 4th hitter on the AAA team do.
Outside, and Bellinger with a 2-out walk.
And then they get here to the big leagues and they bat 8th or they bat 7th, and the pitchers are the mop-up guy or maybe a setup guy if he's really, really good. It's the rare guy like Urias who comes up and can dominate at his age.
2 outs, man at first, Kike Hernandez now. Puig getting his first day off of the season. He's the last guy to get his first rest. And with that, Hernandez starting in right. Ball 1. Surprising looking at Kike's career defensive history, because it seems like he's played everywhere a bunch. This is only his 4th start in right field.
And that's not because of his arm or his range, just Yasiel's been there and others.
1-1.
Speaking of Yasiel, how about the pregame show with Alana and Ned Coletti?
Fantastic.
Talk about must-watch TV again. He did the whole interview with Alana and Ned in English.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Kike waits back on it, flips it foul, and it's 1-2. And he talked in the interview about how his English is not good, but my goodness, 4.5 years here, 5 years here in the States, it's pretty darn good.
What a cute story about re-meeting his English teacher in Cuba, and when he first went there as a kid, he says, I'm never leaving Cuba, so I don't need to learn English. And then he went back there as a big leaguer, and she goes, how's your English now?
Yeah. Eichhoff deals 1-2, and Hernandez turns around a fastball. The wind pushing it to right, and Saunders pulling it in. Dodgers get a 2-out walk, but no damage against Eichhoff. Through it 2 in the opener at Dodger Stadium. back inside. Joe Davis with Oral Hershiser, and Kenta Maeda, 2 perfect innings so far. It's only 2 innings, but he's looked sharper than he has in a while.
A little sharper, hitting the target most of the time. A couple of hard hit balls, but that's only going to increase his confidence. So I'm feeling pretty good. I like the fact that he's using that little nickel curve to steal some strikes at the beginning of the count.
Certainly doesn't hurt that he's pitching on a night where the wind is blowing not necessarily in, but is going to knock down anything that's hit to left. And really is going to knock down anything that's hit anywhere other than right down the right field line. And when you're thinking about that, you're normally thinking about left-handed power hitters. The Phillies only have 2 left-handed hitters in the lineup tonight. Tommy Joseph, bottom third of the Philadelphia order. Maeda comes home to the Phillies first baseman and gets a swinging strike. Joseph a year ago showed off some of his power in his first big league season. Debuted in mid-May and hit 21 home runs. Coming inside, missing badly, and it's 1-1.
Look how shallow Bellinger is in left field with that wind howling in. This is a big, strong right-handed hitter. But you could tell that it is knocking everything down. It is so rare to have elements here other than maybe just a little bit of heat in Los Angeles.
Dodgers thought they were getting out of this when they left San Francisco. The wind followed them. A 1-1 delivery. Again, misses nowhere close. 2-1.
Kenta looks like he is feeling good, comfortable, but still trying to find rhythm. Looks like he feels strong.
Three and one on Joseph.
Got a high fastball strikeout at 93 miles an hour, and that's going up there for him velocity-wise. He can pitch at 89 to 91 with the 2-seamer and touch 93 now with the 4-seamer.
Full count.
Inside changeup to a righty tonight. Not a bad pitch. Something you wouldn't do on a normal night all the time and leave it up there, but you really are almost feeling like left field is out. Like you didn't have enough guys to play the game. So everybody's got to hit the ball somewhere else other than left.
Tommy Joseph leading off the third for the Phillies and fouling this one back. 25 years old, made his first opening day roster this year. He's the guy that's replaced Ryan Howard at first base for the Phillies.
They're still paying Ryan Howard, I think, $10 million this year to stay away, and their total salary is only $111 million. Only.
Payoff. And he gets him for the first out of the third. He winds up striking out Joseph in an at-bat where twice he missed by about 5 feet.
Effectively wild right here, but a couple of cutters slash sliders. And you see Maeda's last season got off to a very hot start, and this year trying to recover now here in April. But it is definitely, in his first 2 years in the big leagues, going to be his worst start. Last year was so good.
He's retired the first 7 Phillies, and now Cameron Rupp. Oh for his last 7, 5 Ks during that stretch. Maeda misses for the slider, ball 1. The 1-0. 1-1. You can hear the wind howling in our microphones. 25 miles per hour at one point today. Haven't checked in a minute, but it is still a stiff wind. As evidenced by those flags out there in center. At least you can trust the flags here. 2-1. Not the case in San Francisco. We talked about that as the series went on. Dave Roberts said that that was the most difficult place to play center field that he ever played in, just because you couldn't trust any of the flags. It's got to be a lonely feeling, not knowing where the wind is blowing, only knowing that it is. A 2-1 pitch. 3-1.
And only 2 flags here at Dodger Stadium. California state flag and the U.S. flag, of course, out there in center field. A candlestick. I went back to my day. AT&T, about 30 flags there around different places.
None of them worth a darn. Now 3-1. Rupp drags a ground ball foul, and it's full.
There they are.
Some more.
We can't see those.
It's up above us.
So I counted 12 on the right side, so there's 24, and then you got the 2 out there, 26. So I wasn't wrong by that much.
Here's the payoff, and Rupp checks his swing on ball 4. I didn't miss by much. Sometimes you'll see check swings, and the home plate umpire sometimes loses sight of where the pitch actually finishes. This may have been up.
It may have. Let's take a look at PitchCast right here. And PitchCast has got it for a strike. But I think you're right. A lot of times the umpires do get blocked out by the bat and the distractions. They lose their strike zone a little bit, at least the edges. Adrian Johnson back there calling it a ball.
First base runner for the Phillies brings up Jared Eichhoff.
Eichhoff looking for his first hit of the year and also his first W, even with his ERA at 2.55 and lower now with the zeros he's posted.
Corners crash. Eichhoff bunts it. Gonzalez throws across his body to second to get him. Oh, what a tremendous play by the perennial Gold Glover at first.
Tom Woodring out there, the second base umpire, rings him up. I'm sure there'll be a slight delay here for the Phillies to want to check on this as Larry Boa hits the horn. He still works over the sunflower seeds.
Well, here's what happened. Look at Chase Utley over there to get that 1 step back. And if he gets him by 1 step and this holds up, it's because of that pick right there. That Chase Utley, the fake right here. Watch it again. Watch Chase go to first. There's 1 step so he doesn't get the best jump off of first, and they're able to get him out at second base. That was a great play.
Yeah, it was less than 1 foot, Nomar. When he gets down there, they're gonna make this out by about 6 inches. It was another detail that Chase Utley brings to the game.
Second time through, Cesar Hernandez takes ball 1.
And that was, if you saw the setup before with first baseman and Chase all the way over there, you rarely see that, but they knew what they were doing. They were expecting it. And creating that fake was the difference.
Nice pick on the other end by Corey Seager, too.
Kenta deals 1-0. That's ball 2.
You know, on a play like that, Adrian Gonzalez has to have a fantastic baseball clock. You know, notice he came in and immediately went to the throw. He did not think about, oh, I got to look and see if he got a good jump or not. No, you don't have time for that. He's got to know by the speed of the bunt, the speed of his charge, and the strength of his arm, can he get it there in time?
Line past Gonzalez down the line for a base hit. Hernandez cuts it off. Holds Cesar Hernandez to a single, and they're at the corners with 2 away.
Number 13, Freddie Galvis.
Hernandez has hit Kenta hard twice in the first inning. He lined out to Kike, and this one he hit a little lower and pulled it a little more.
Has a home run against him in his career, and in fact, while Kenta's beaten the Phillies in both of his starts against them, there are 4 out of the 8 hitters in this Phillies lineup that have homers against Kenta. Nobody with more than 5 ABs, but 4 guys with a home run. That includes the man climbing in here, Freddie Galvis. Walking a single here in the 3rd. They're at the corners with 2 gone. And Maeda to Grandal with the first one. Inside, ball one. Galvis grounded out his first time, trying to extend a 9-game hitting streak. 27 years old on this young team. Even though he's only 27, even though he's only in his 6th year, he's the longest tenured Philly. Waits on a 1-0. That catches the corner, strike one. It was Galvis that replaced Jimmy Rollins 3 years ago as the everyday shortstop. He'd been a backup middle infielder to both Rollins and Utley over his first few major league seasons. Eichhoff at third, Hernandez at first, and a 1-1. Curve yanked towards the right field corner, sailing off the wall. Eichhoff is in to score. Hernandez can't pick it up cleanly, and it's a 2-run double to begin the scoring from Freddie Galvis.
Number 37, Odubel Herrera.
This ball is left up by Kenta right here, trying to go breaking ball low and away, throws it breaking ball up and down the middle, and that's the last pitch you want to throw tonight with the ball carrying out there to right field. Anything off speed to a lefty, you want to be able to make sure they pull it foul. You got to either get it way in or you get them so far out in front that they hit the top of it.
So Galvis now with a 10-game hitting streak, and the Phillies with the game's first runs. And at second with 2 out, Odubel Herrera. Here's the first one. And a fastball catches the edge, strike one.
If you have an outside corner like that, Kenta needs to wear that out there against the left-handed hitters. If you can stretch that outside corner with your fastball, make those hitters hit the ball to the biggest part of the park today, which is about 3/4 of it, all towards left field.
Tried to go there again, this time missed. 1-1. Well, Odubel Herrera, who's at the plate right now, is the hitter version of Pedro Baez. More than 30 seconds between pitches during his at-bats. That's the most in the majors.
Pedro's changing his reputation, though, this year so far.
The old Pedro.
Okay.
2016 version. Here's a 1-1. Grounded foul, and it's 1-2. So 30 seconds between pitches for Herrera. That's right about where Baez was in 2016. Major league average is 24 seconds. That's where Baez is down around right now.
Okay. Well, we're moving in the right direction.
Totally.
Really moving in the right direction with his earned run average.
That too.
Pedro Baez is throwing the ball very well.
Herrera last year received 3 letters from the Major League Baseball office about his pace. Able to negotiate that 3rd letter, though, down to just a 3rd warning as opposed to a fine like it normally dictates. Grounds out to Chase Utley to finish off the Phillies in the 3rd. They get 2 and take a 2-0 lead. Nomar's getting some snacks delivered. Hope he brought his appetite. third. Let's check it with Nomar.
Well, I told you about this section here at the Loge level, the party section. Look what they brought me. I got Dodger dogs. I got a sandwich here. I got some wings. I got a fruit cup. You know what they didn't bring me? They didn't bring the nachos that serves 10. That's what I'm going to have to order and get back, the nachos that serve for 10. But I think I'm going to start off with my fruit cup here, and I'll get back to you guys.
Playing for the tie there, huh?
You bet.
Here's a 1-0 and a strike. Before you order the nachos for 10, you should get 9 friends. It looks a little lonely down there for you.
They text me. They're still stuck in traffic.
Stuck,
yeah.
1-2 on Maeda.
That 110 at this time of night.
9-1-2 for the Dodgers here in the third. Toles and Seager to follow. Jared Eichhoff. Maeda puts it in play to short. Galvis was a Gold Glove finalist last year and has this one smoothly for the first out.
Number 60, Andrew Toles.
Dodgers with just 1 base hit so far. A single from Turner in the first inning against Eichhoff. He walked Bellinger, but nobody's gotten past first. Second time through the order now. Andrew Toles comes up. Takes ball 1.
Andrew in a key spot here, leading off tonight, had been moved down. Dave didn't like the fact that he looked like he was pressing a little bit.
Corks a base hit to right center. 1 out single for Toles.
And the 2 hottest guys in the Dodgers, that leadoff spot with Corey Seager coming and then Justin Turner. Important to get on base to get this offense sparked. They were flat in San Francisco, still come out of there with a split. And real hard to believe with the way the offense functioned on the road that they got out of San Francisco with a split.
They hit 188 as a team in the series at San Francisco. And you really hard loss in game 3. So on the surface, splitting the 4 games there doesn't feel good. But when you consider they did it despite hitting 188, it feels a little different. Corey Seager misses at the first one, strike 1. They had 7 runs over the first, consider the 9 innings yesterday a game, 7 runs over the first 4 games, and then got 4 in the 10th inning alone. Perhaps boosting the offense into this homestand. Seager cracks another fly ball into the teeth of the wind, and Aaron Altair is under it for the second out. It was really up and down the Dodger lineup. Guys struggled to get going in that series. Gonzalez, Grandal, Toles, Hernandez, all with just 1 hit, averages 100 or below. And they left a ton on base. So even with a 188 average with some walks, they had some opportunities they weren't able to cash in on. Lead the National League in runners left on base in this young season. Turner bats with Toles at first and 2 away. Eichhoff pitches, ball 1.
Positive is they have been able to set the table in a lot of different innings, but just haven't been able to drive guys in. The Dodgers believe that is going to turn around.
Here comes a 1-0. And he shoots another base hit to right. Toles heads for third. Saunders' throw is cut off. Justin Turner's 2 for 2, and the Dodgers are at the corners with 2 gone.
Well, Justin Turner continues to swing a hot bat, and I'll tell you what, he's got his base hit and his double swing down. This is a single, but he is leading the National League in doubles. And right here, he is finding the holes.
Keep talking about how you expect his power bat to heat up, the homers to come. How about this note from the great Brian Hagan? Justin Turner in his career has 1 April home run. So yes, he's only been a real power hitter for a year and a half or so, but he's never been a power hitter in the month of April. As the weather heats up, so does he. 2 out chance for Adrian Gonzalez.
May 3rd is Vin's night here, and what did Vin call Adrian Gonzalez?
Butter and egg man. Trying to deliver here in a 2-0 game in the 3rd. That one gets away. Here comes Toles. There will be a play. He's in safely. Turner read it well. Holds on at second. It's a 2-1 game. Boy, had Cameron Rupp gotten rid of that thing as soon as he got to it, Toles was dead to rights.
Eichhorn throws the curveball. We talked about that wind helping it, but he spiked that one too, and Rupp hesitates. As you watch this ball get away from right here, the first grass, then he loses it a little bit to grip, and as he shuffles it to Eichhorn, it's going to be late. But in the first attempt, good out, Andrew. Adrian Johnson there behind the plate trying to block it. It's a little late.
So the Dodgers on the board here in the 3rd. And now a base hit from Gonzalez could tie the game. It's ahead of Eichhoff 1-0. Here it comes. Outside, ball 2. Adrian getting yesterday out of the starting lineup. Dave Roberts trying to get him healthy. A 2-0. That is line behind second. Galvis takes it away to finish the inning. Perfectly positioned and then perfectly executed by the former Gold Glove finalist. But the Dodgers get on the board. It's 2-1 after 3. LA is brought to you by the Ram 1500 Rebel. Experience the power and toughness of Ram at your local dealer. Make something up, Tommy John told Dr. Frank Jobe, who was trying to come back from the elbow problem in 1974. This is a shot 3 years later, his 2nd year since returning from the first Tommy John surgery. Shot at him against the Phillies. Andrew Toles scoring the Dodgers' first run of the game, 2-1. We head to the 4th. Kenta Maeda to face the middle 3rd of this Phillies order. So when Tommy John told Frank Jobe, come up with something, figure it out, make something up, Jobe's mind started thinking, gears started turning. He thought about a procedure that had been used in the past for polio patients. Michael Franco takes a strike. And the doctors would take a tendon in the wrist and they'd use it to strengthen the polio patient's ankles. And the thought from Dr. Jobe was, theoretically, this could work on an elbow too. The 0-1, ball 1 on Franco. So the tendon taken from the wrist or from the leg, they decided over the next couple of years that this could develop into a ligament. ligamentization happens. The tendon adapts to its new role once it's put into the elbow and technically becomes a ligament. Maeda's 1-1 pitch. Franco smacks it into the overshift. That's Chase Utley playing over there for the first out of the inning. Frank Jobe said that if it worked, if it became something that could save players' careers, Tommy John was the guy that deserved credit for having the courage to go forward with a surgery. He said, "It didn't take any courage for me to make the operation up. That's why it's not Frank Jobe surgery. It's Tommy John surgery."
And Tommy pitched for a long time after having his elbow put together by the great Dr. Frank Jobe.
Another 2,500 innings, Oral, without missing a start because of arm problems. Michael Saunders looks at a fastball up 1-0.
That ligament they put in there, and they've put in a lot of pitchers and regular players' arms, continues to hold up, stretched every time you throw a baseball.
(2-0). Finished second in Cy Young voting the year after he missed the entire year. You know, the very first operation, though, didn't go particularly well. The hand kind of curled up into a claw. His fingers were frozen. And it looked like the surgery had been a failure. So they went in for a second surgery to correct it. And that's when it healed correctly. It has changed the sport.
People think, and I think I'm one of them, that Dr. Frank Jobe should be in the Hall of Fame. He has more wins and more saves than anybody.
A 2-0. Saunders hits a ground ball that sneaks through both Utley and Gonzalez for a base hit to right.
Number 23, Aaron Altair.
What a 5-hopper, and 5 hoppers don't get through unless they're right exactly in the middle of the hole, and that's where that one was. Each fielder could take about 2.5 steps in a dive, and it still found it.
So Maeda now to face Aaron Altair. Ball one. While we're on the topic of Tommy John and arms, brings you to Maeda's contract, which was uniquely set up because of some irregularities in the physical. Low risk. Very low end of the contract if things were to go poorly, but a very high end if Maeda is able to stay healthy and pitch like a Major League caliber starter, which he did as a rookie. It's 1-1. All kinds of bonuses and incentives that he was able to rack in his rookie season. The minimum salary per year for him is $3 million, but it can go up over 8 years to equal more than $100 million.
Most of that is about health, not his performance. Appearances, starts.
Two and one.
Kenta was betting on himself. He said, "You know, I understand. I've dealt with a lot of different things throughout my whole career, and I understand you do have a risk in me, and I'll bet on myself. I still want to come over and be a Dodger."
Yeah, he said, "I want to repay them with results." 2-1. Altair hits it foul, and it's 2-2. Now Maeda in Japan, top 5 in the league in innings pitched 7 consecutive seasons. Never had extended disabled list time there. And even with that contract that was entirely structured around those irregularities in the physical, he was the only guy last year that stayed in the rotation all season. He brings it 2-2. Off of Grandal's glove. Up to second goes Saunders.
You know, Osmani showing his frustration. He's had a few of these in the last 4 or 5 days where he's trying to frame the pitch and keep the ball on the plate at least the illusion of the ball's on the plate because of where he holds the glove, and you see this deflects off the webbing of the catcher's mitt. Trying to get the bulk of that glove on the plate and then just grab the ball so it looks like it's on the corner.
Saunders at second with one gone, and Maeda to Altair with a 3-2. And he got him at the knees with a nice slider for out number 2.
This pitch is pinpoint right here. Yasmani doesn't need to frame it at all. Just catch it. It's right there. That's got to give Kenta some confidence. Dodgers got him a run last inning. He's only down by 1. Trying to finish off this inning.
4 Ks, 1 walk. Phillies with the 2 runs off 3 hits against Kenta. Tommy Joseph was a strikeout victim his first time. Popped up. The wind will push it towards the seats and create a souvenir. Actually bounds back on top of the dugout, and some English on it into the first row. Tommy Joseph, former highly touted Giants prospect. He was a 2nd-round pick. They traded him in the Hunter Pence deal in 2012. And made his major league debut last year. Saunders at second with 2 away. Maeda to the plate with an 0-1. Strike 2 on Joseph. Started his career as a catcher. The only reason the door opened into the majors for him was because he moved to first following a 5th concussion. It was basically either your career's over or find a way to play a different position because it's not safe to catch anymore. Here's an 0-2, and Maeda gets him with a fastball over the inside half. Back-to-back Ks after a runner moved into scoring position. Nomar crushing it.
Thursday on an all-new episode of Backstage Dodgers, follow Sergio Romo as he returns to San Fran for the first time as a Dodger. Plus, get an inside look at Cody Bellinger's big league debut. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Hankook Tires, Thursday at 7 o'clock on Sportsnet LA.
UCLA night here at the ballpark. Got some Bruins/Dodger fans out there as Yasmani Grandal grounds the first pitch of the fourth inning to first for out number 1. Jared Eichhoff, 26 years old, from Evansville, Indiana originally.
26, Chase Utley.
Went the junior college route and was going to go to Western Kentucky after junior college ball, but he was drafted in the 15th round by the Rangers and still was very torn right up until the last day that he had to make that decision, and said that he had a dream that he got a text message telling him to sign the pro contract. It's an interesting way to be spoken to, through a text in a dream. That's a very millennial way to be spoken to.
I guess so.
Chase Utley, strike one. I'm allowed to say that because I technically am one.
Okay. I just think it's interesting, period. No matter what age
No,
group.
I agree.
And then to act on it. And then to tell the story.
0-2. Yeah, don't admit it if that's why you made the decision. He came from Texas to Philly in the Cole Hamels deal a few years back. Utley pushes one foul. There were 5 prospects that were dealt, and Eichhoff was kind of a throw-in. There were 3 guys that were very highly touted that now make up 2, 3, and 4 in the Phillies prospect rankings. But Eichhoff, the first out of the group to make the majors, and he's proven very reliable. As good a numbers even as Cole Hamels, the man that he was traded for. 1-2.
That's when the organization wins. That's when all the scouts that are out there writing the reports on a daily basis on all the minor leaguers around baseball, on all the guys that are going to be drafted in the June draft. Whole organization evaluates those trades, and they say, okay, what's your group here? Who are the guys we need to target? Some of the guys are on the A list, some of the guys are on the B list, some of the guys are on the C list if there's a throw-in, and that's where the scouts really earn their money. Almost anybody can pick the Uriases and the Seagers and different people.
Full count.
It's the guys in the rest of your organization that are being scouted, where maybe an organization doesn't value them quite as highly. Doc Peterson, Chris Taylor right there with his back to us, and Corey Seager. Oh, that's Scott Kazmir. It looked like Chris Taylor. We have a Kazmir sighting.
This is a 3-2, and Chase yanks one just outside the bag.
Scott threw a 50-pitch bullpen, and Rick Honeycutt was there to observe, and they're still working on some mechanical things, waiting for some velocity to increase, but they say he's getting closer and feeling healthier.
Eichhoff with another 3-2. And Utley with a cue shot to third. Mike Alfranco, 2 out.
Number 35.
Eichhoff now in his second full major league season. Made his big league debut right after he was acquired in that trade. Kind of did a sink or swim thing. Let's see what we got with this guy. He was solid in those 8 starts as a rookie, and then last year didn't miss a start in his first full major league season. 2 outs. Cody Bellinger. Eichhoff pitches to him. Bellinger bunts it against the shift. How about that for a base hit?
His first big league hit was a swinging bunt, and now this one where he lays it down perfectly. Earlier today, the first action on the field for the Dodgers were 4 of the young guys out there working on their bunting. They were bunting off a machine. Bob Guerin was running the drill. Kike was out there. Tolles was out there. Bellinger was out there, and it worked very well.
2 big league hits, both of them infield hits.
Thought he was the top power prospect.
Here's Hernandez. He proved that when he broke his bat and hit a ball with home run distance in San Francisco.
And he also proved it to me with some of the swings and the distance he hit the ball in Arizona spring training.
Just misses, ball one. PK flied to right his first time. Now the 1-0. Fouled back, it's 1-1. Dave Roberts was talking today about Cody Bellinger. Somebody straight up asked him, is Bellinger here to stay? And Dave thought about it and said, I don't think it's fair to say that right now. And he reiterated that the fact that Bellinger is here because of injuries. Now, he performed well to put himself in position to get called up. There's a 1-1. And it's caught to left center field. The wind won't knock this one down. Altair can't get it. Bellinger's headed for the plate. And this game is tied at 2.
Let's take a look at the Morongo Casino Resort and Spa slow-mo cam. This ball is spanked. It's got a little bit of topspin on it, but he hit it through the wind. Altair, he tries to get this. Oh, it hits the back of his glove. Thank you, Morongo, with that slow-mo shot.
You know what I love about it is the bunt by Cody Bellinger. Because here you're thinking, okay, why is he bunting? You know he has some power, but they were giving it to him. And now when they start looking at that, they may not shift on him when they realize we're as far. And not only that, what does it set up? It sets up that RBI double.
That ties the game and brings up Maeda. Takes ball one. And the final piece of that trickle down is that you don't have your pitcher leading off the next inning. The little things. So Hernandez, who has come alive over the last week or two, has the issue even at 2 in the 4th. He stands at second with 2 gone. And Maeda takes ball 2.
A little bit of a rattle, the young guy, but he throws a lot of strikes. Last year, and he was only 4th in the National League in walks per 9 innings. So very good control command guy. Doesn't back down from any situation.
Strike one. Dodgers trying to snap the Phillies' 6-game winning streak and trying to win back-to-back games themselves for the first time in 2 weeks. Only the 3rd time this year. Here's a 2-1 and a ground ball to short. Freddie Galvis knocks it down, picks it up, throws late. And Aaron Galvis leaves the door open in the 4th.
Who'd have known that a 2-out bunt would start to open the floodgates. Kike Hernandez gets the double after that. Now Kenta Maeda doesn't strike out, gets it in play, and Galvis just flat out boots this ball. Maeda didn't assume anything. He ran down the line.
Defense, Galvis's calling card. But here, it costs him. The Dodgers have them at the corners with 2 out for Andrew Toles.
Toles struck out looking in his first at bat. In the second at bat got the line drive to right center, so feeling better about himself in this 2-out RBI situation.
Huge hit for him yesterday. The bases loaded and the game tied at 1 in the 10th inning. Toles entering that at bat was 3 for his last 27. And was able to come through with a base hit that broke the tie. And Floodgates open. Dodgers scored 4 in that inning and won the series finale 5-1. Looking for their first lead of the night here. Hernandez at third and Maeda at first.
I'm really surprised they are holding Maeda on over there at first with Toles up and the wind blowing out to right. Andrew's going to try and use that hole.
Curve, strike one.
And then they throw an off-speed pitch that lets you take a shot at the hole. I just don't understand the philosophy there by the Phillies. I got to be behind Maeda, bluffing him a little bit, extending my defense back. There's no way with a man in scoring position that Kenta is stealing at any time.
1-1. That just doesn't add up.
Well, very surprising for me with Larry Bowa on their coaching staff, who the glove wizard at shortstop for the Phillies for so many years and understands infield play better than anybody.
Here comes the 1-1. Maeda does run. Toles lays it down. Eichhoff throws to get it. And so the Dodgers do tie the game. Hernandez looking around like, what in the world was that with 2 outs? But he's able to even the issue with this long double after 4.
At LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Get incredible deals on a spacious new Sienna at Toyota's Leading the Way sales event.
Mike Schmidt against the Dodgers back in the 70s. Hit against everybody, although hit fewer home runs against the Dodgers than any other team in his career. This one's tied at 2. On to the 5th inning. Joe Davis, Ole Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, Nomar Garciaparra with us tonight as well. Cody Bellinger extending that 4th inning with a bunt with 2 outs, scoring on a double from Hernandez. Before Andrew Toles bunted with 2 outs on a play that looked like everybody thought there was 1 out.
I don't know. They were playing a little different game than I played in that inning. I didn't understand it. I understood Cody Bellinger's bunt. I didn't understand Toles' bunt, and I didn't understand Maeda running. I would think you'd want your left-handed hitter to pick on the pitcher, try to use the right side, leave your pitcher over there as the runner, so the defense, the way the Phillies were playing it, would be wide open.
And only adding to the question marks popping over our heads was Kike Hernandez's reaction as he went home. He kind of had the palms up, wondering the same thing.
Exactly.
Cameron Rupp leads off this inning against Kenta Maeda. 8-9-1 for the Phillies in ball 1.
You showed Michael Jack Smith there, Phillies. You think he's got to be the #1 third baseman in RBIs all time for the Phillies as far as in a single season. The only reason I mention this because of these names. Lave Cross in 1894 had 125.
Little jam shot.
Utley's there for the first out.
Second is Pinky Whitney with 124 in 1932. And then we finally get to Michael Jack Schmidt, 121 in 1980 when they won the World Championship.
First guy's name is what?
Lave, L-A-V-E.
Last name?
Cross.
Lave Cross.
And Pinky Whitney.
Hey, anything to get Pinky on the air.
That's why I wanted to get Pinky on. Pinky Tuscadero, Pinky Whitney.
Jared Eichhoff up there with one out in the fifth. Kenta deals and misses. Eichhoff scored Philadelphia's first run of the game. Hernandez was right behind him on a 2-run double from Freddie Galvis. Strike one. That's a base hit to left. Eichhoff with his first hit of the season, and it comes with one gone here in the fifth inning.
Second baseman, Cesar Hernandez.
So back to the top and Cesar Hernandez. Singleton scored his last time. He's the man that took over for Chase Utley as the everyday second baseman for the Phillies. He was initially considered kind of a placeholder at second as they overhaul this roster, rebuild things. But in his first year as an everyday player last year, he posted the highest on-base percentage for a Philly in 6 years. And he takes strike one. You go to late June last year. His on-base percentage, though, was below 300. Major league average around 320. So he was well worse than big league average halfway through the season. By the end of the year, the best in 6 years. They're on a long road trip. They were in Minnesota, interleague series. And Pete Mackanin benched him. And he said, look, Cesar, this isn't rest. You're going to be sitting here next to me if you don't change things around, if you don't change your approach, level out your uppercut swing. They say that immediately after, his batting practice looked entirely different. Protects here, still 0-2. Couple days off to change the swing, change his approach mentally. Put him back in the lineup 2 days later because of an injury. So McKenna wanted to keep him out even longer, but had no choice but to put him back in. He went 4 for 4, and the rest of the way had a .427 on base percentage. That's over the final 3 months. 1-2.
I'm sure he has thanked his manager since then. Maybe even take him to dinner.
So became an on-base percentage machine last year. He's now started to hit for power. Already 4 home runs this year after he only hit 6 a year ago. 2-2. Played last year at 165 pounds, but hit the weight room. Feeling good about the 2016 season. Packed on 15 good pounds. Tweaked his swing a little bit more to be able to generate some more pop. And didn't wait to show it off. Hit a leadoff home run to open the season. First time that happened for the Phillies since the 1930s. Drills this one, left center field. Bellinger cruises under it. And Hernandez is out number 2.
Can't take your eye off any fly ball out there and left. You don't know what that wind's going to do to it. It's going to knock it down, but you got to look it all the way into your glove.
Galvis knocked home the 2 Phillies runs with his double in the third. He's a childhood friend of Cesar Hernandez. Those two grew up in Venezuela. A couple hours apart, grew up playing against each other. Signed the same year with the Phillies. Ball 1. Freddie started playing baseball when he was 4, but played it a little bit differently where he was from. They played in the streets. So there were all kinds of natural brakes built in anytime a car came through. Move the bases, move the game off to the side. Takes a strike, it's 1-1. Divided the teams up based on what street you lived on. He lived on 13th Street. That's why he wears number 13. He's ready for a 1-1. Just low. 2 balls, 1 strike.
My day, you made your bases in the street with chalk
Yeah.
a little bit, so you didn't have to move those, but you did have to move the game, the bodies.
Right. Ground ball, backs up Gonzalez. He'll take it to the bag. That does it for the Phillies in the 5th. We're halfway home here in the homestand opener and locked at 2.
Luck Charm and purchase a 5-game weekend plan starting at $20 per ticket. If the Dodgers win all 5 games that you pick, you win 2 tickets to Fan Appreciation Day, September 24th, and be recognized in a group photo on the field. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/mini-plans.
Phillies 2, Dodgers 2, bottom of the 5th inning, and Corey Seager will lead this inning off. Joe, Alana, and Nomar tonight with a wind gusting. In fact, they just announced in the stadium that if it continues, they'll have to cancel the fireworks. That's how windy it is. Seen it affect a few batted balls. Not a bad night if you're Kenta Maeda trying to settle back in when home runs have been the biggest issue.
You can find places to get outs. And the only time they've scored is when they hit the ball down in the right field corner. PK Hernandez turned the wind around a little bit there in left center, but he had a solid line drive that blocked a little bit of the wind because it was low, and the bleachers are blocking some of that.
Turner and Gonzalez to follow in this inning against Jared Eichhoff, who's thrown 65 pitches, 3 Ks, a walk. Dodgers getting the 2 runs off 5 hits. Started him with a breaking ball and a generous outside corner for strike 1. Back-to-back days with home runs for Seager, who has more hard hit balls this year than anybody in baseball. Takes it up, it's 1-1. If you measure hard hit balls at 96 miles per hour exit velocity and above, there's 35 of those. Nobody else has more. Off of the handle here. Rupp gives it a look, but that's all.
So 35 is more than one a day. That's pretty good. When guys go up there 3-4 at bats in a game, maybe you get 5 on some nights, and you're hoping to hit the ball hard once or twice. And this guy's doing it more than once an evening. Hit some balls hard in Chicago. He didn't get anything for into that wind. These hitters are waiting for, when are we going to play a night without wind blowing in?
2-2. Yeah, 4-game series in San Francisco where ball doesn't fly very well ever. Similar conditions for this one. Breaking ball, bullet, foul. Had that been straight, that would have been hard hit ball number 36 of the year for Corey. Those only register if they're fair. Leading off the 5th in a 2-2 game against the Phillies' young righty Jared Eichhoff, who's back home with a 2-2. Outside, full count. Justin Turner, 2 for 2 tonight, waits on deck. And Seager takes ball 4. Watch that thing the entire way, and a curveball that began as a strike and finished in the dirt. Look at the Carl's cam on Seager's 2 singles, or on Turner's 2 singles.
Line drive to left center. See the wind knock that down, and then a base hit to right through the hole right here. Justin Turner used that hole with a man on first. Outstanding professional hitting.
He is now, Oral, against Jared Eichhoff, 4 for 4. 2 singles, a double, and a homer. Fastball just misses, ball 1. Eichhoff's got to be thinking, what do I got to do with this guy?
Justin's hitting .378 on the season, and coming into the game during the hit streak, he was hitting .378. Now he's 2 for 2 to add on to that.
2-0.
He's probably over 400 during the hit streak now. Players hate to talk about their numbers, so we can say it on the air, but hopefully he'll have it on mute when he watches the replay.
Tradition of his, usually turning us on in the morning, watching it back.
He only mutes, like, I don't know,
the parts where I talk.
When he...
There's a drive to left field. Overall tears head, but he goes back to pull it in. Maybe it was hit low enough to cut through the wind, but not tonight.
Yeah, a lot of balls hit by Corey Seager and Justin Turner this year so far that they say, you know, later in the summer this ball is gone. Well, this ball is gone at Dodger Stadium every night, but tonight, because of this wind, 25-mile-an-hour wind coming in there from left. Last time a ball at Altair had to go back on like this was Kike Hernandez. Ball hit the back of his glove. This one, he gets in the middle.
Tied at 2 in the 5th. Gonzalez comes up. They want this first pitch to him down and away. Leaks over the plate, and he makes him pay with a base hit to center. Seager heading first to third. Herrera's throw not in time, and they're at the corners.
First of all, what a great at-bat by Adrian Gonzalez, taking that ball right back up the middle. They wanted that ball away. It was actually tailing away, and he stays on it. But what also was impressive, this was hit really hard. And you see how shallow the center fielder is, Herrera out there, and Corey Seager doing a great job going first to third. Definitely changes the entire at-bat here for Yasmani Grandal, because you get a man on third base with less than 2 outs.
In a tie game, Dodgers trying to take their first lead of the night. Yasmani now 1 for his last 14. But like Nomar mentioned, no longer takes a base hit to get the job done here. Swing and a towering fly ball to right. Seager's already waiting on the bag as Saunders settles under, comes forward and makes the catch. Throw to the plate, not in time. The Dodgers lead at 3-2. thanks to the hustle from Seager, the read from Seager. On the base hit from Gonzalez, this fly ball from Grandal produces the lead.
This is where you just appreciate the hustle that Corey Seager did to get from first to third, especially your Yasmani Grandal. Like I said, now you're looking for a ball up in the zone. Just a sacrifice fly does the job. We talk about the Dodgers over the course of this season. They haven't been doing the little things as much as they would like. Right there, it pays off.
And a man at first with 2 gone. Chase Utley comes up and takes ball 1. So after the Phillies got 2 in the third, the Dodgers with single runs in each of the 3 innings since. Wyckoff deals 1-0. That's in there. Here comes the 1-1. Utley smacks a base hit to center. 2 on with 2 out. Up comes Cody Bellinger.
You start getting production from all the other components around Turner and Seager. Adrian Gonzalez getting a hit. Chase Utley finding one right here. This lineup starts to get very long and tough to get through.
So the Dodgers taking a 3-2 lead in a mound visit here. Line still moving against Wyckoff, who's still looking for his first win of the season despite good numbers for the Phillies.
This offense is a boost of confidence for Kenta Maeda too. He gives up the 2 runs early. He's down 2-0, and all of a sudden he finds himself being able to take the mound with a lead. You feel a little bit better about your stuff and your future. In some ways, he knows the things that have been rooming around the club as far as, you know, what's going on with Maeda and how are they going to handle if he has another rough outing. Well, he's got a chance to get himself a W now.
Good spot for Bellinger here. No pressure on him. With 2 on and 2 out, the lead has already been taken. He started the rally in the last inning with a bunt. Swings and misses. Strike 1.
Cody's got a little bit of Jock Peterson, a young Jock Peterson in this swing right here, where Jock has kind of cut back on his swing as he's had more and more time in the big leagues. And Jock figured it out that you don't have to hit it 450 feet to get a home run. You can hit 360, 380 and make more contact. A lot of adrenaline running in the batter's box right now.
I know I've seen Tommy Lasorda say to him before, just over the fence, it counts the same. Wyckoff to Bellinger with a 1-1. And Cody swings, pulls one, base hit to right. They give the wave to Gonzalez. Saunders' throw is in time, and the inning is over. Outfield assist from Michael Saunders keeps Cody Bellinger from his first career RBI.
Cody got his first big league legitimate hit. Swinging bunt, and now a line drive.
try here. I'll tell you what, this is what Dodger Stadium has now. I got a poke bowl. I got a noodle bowl. I got some tater tots. I mean, how about that, guys? Tater tots, King's Hawaiian tri-tip going, and I even have dessert. I got a funnel cake. I got fried Orioles, and I got fried Twinkies. So I'll be over here if you need me, guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Don't talk with your mouth full.
Or actually, I may not be here if you need me because I'll be eating.
Did you say fried Oreos?
Yeah, there's some fried Oreos here. I can send them up after I eat about 3 of them.
I wouldn't mind trying one.
Okay.
Fried Oreo. Split it. Nodubo Herrera to lead off the 6th for the Phillies. Maeda pitching with the lead for the first time. And pitching into the 6th for the first time this year with strike 1.
It's a great night to pitch, and it's really a great night when you get off to a little bit of a slow start and your offense comes through for you. The Dodgers now with 8 hits through only 5 at bats.
Oh, 0-2. Nice pitch for the change.
Kenta still looks like he's out there figuring it out. Even after a quality pitch, doesn't seem to have much pacing there, just kind of staring off in the distance, processing what he needs to do.
Against the 3-hitter Herrera, going upstairs but missing, and ball 1. Grandal wanted that ball above the letters, and Maeda missed below the knees. There have been several of those pitches tonight where he's badly missed his spot.
When you're going up in the strike zone and going to throw it hard, if the hard emotion comes in before your front foot hits, that's when you pull the ball. That's when you miss your target. You've got to go hard into something, and that is your front leg when it lands.
Back to the change, barely got a piece, still 1-2.
So a little better rhythm and accuracy with the off-speed stuff because he's not driving as hard and putting as much effort into it. It's not that you can't put a lot of effort into the fastball and the hard stuff, but you've got to have it timed up properly. Pretty good ratio right there, but Kenta a little bit more of a control pitcher, usually a little better than that.
That's his 6th punch out of the game and the first out of the 6th inning.
Really good arm speed on this changeup. The last one had unbelievable accuracy, the one you commented on, Joe, but that one right there, the great arm speed and right down the middle.
Maikel Franco with the bases empty and 1 gone. So Maeda's now recorded 16 outs in this game. Only 2 of them have been fly balls. Franco takes ball 1. One of them was a pop-up. One of them was a fly out to left. He wasn't one of the best in baseball last year, but that 36% is better than league average where he was a year ago. The 53%. Highest fly ball rate in the National League, 1-1. And so it's no wonder that he's seen the ball fly out of the yard at the rate that he has. 7 home runs over his first 4 starts. Much better tonight, though. 1-1 to Franco. Bottom of the zone, strike 2.
You know, on the road we had those rally lights on cell phones. Now at least we've got the old wave is back. That's a little better for the players.
Franco smacks it to first. They had him turned around to pull that ball, but Gonzalez able to circle around it to step on the bag for out number 2. So this becomes an interesting equation for the Dodgers and a good problem to have, wondering where Maeda fits. With Alex Wood having pitched a great game 2 nights ago. Julio Urias showing that he belongs once again. Rich Hill coming back hopefully before too long. And Dave Roberts in the front office not wanting to go to a 6-man rotation for any extended period of time. Strike one and a ground ball off of the bat of Michael Saunders.
It's always good to have too much pitching, so you always want to hope that everybody's doing well. The fact that Kenta is throwing the ball better tonight is a great sign.
0-2. That changeup has been working lately.
He's really making a conscious effort to miss down, changing his spray pattern from his other outings where it was throwing the ball down but missing up, so up towards the thigh and the waist. Tonight it's more throw the ball down but miss down if you miss anywhere.
Saunders protects, still 0-2. 1 for 2, strikeout and a single. For the former Mariner, the former Blue Jay, lived a dream last year and the year before playing for Toronto. He's Canadian, grew up a Blue Jays fan. Oh, 2 in the dirt, ball one.
You know, Kenta's been hurt by the fastball in where he doesn't get it in enough. This is really perfect pitch. The last pitch would have been a perfect pitch to throw a fastball in and know you just can miss in. You got a big, tall guy. You don't want him to extend his arms. And you got a count where you don't need to throw a strike. You're still going away. One thing that happens mentally for a pitcher when you don't go in and get it way in there is that you start to feel like you have to be perfect away. That the hitters know I pitch away and I've been out there and I'm living out there and I want to go back out there, but you feel like you got to throw the perfect pitch, and throwing it in off the plate can get you some room away.
And he strikes out Saunders to finish the inning. Kenta Maeda, 6 innings. The Dodgers with a 3-2 lead. What do we got here?
Wow.
Oh my gosh, look at
Thank
this.
you, Noma.
Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by Carl's Jr., the breakfast burger served all day at Carl's Jr.
Back at Dodger Stadium, Dodgers in front of the Phillies 3-2. And Jared Eichhoff back out to pitch to Kike Hernandez. 8-9-1 for the Dodgers in this inning. Outside ball one. An update for you. The fried Oreos are the greatest thing ever.
When you can scarf down almost 2 in a break.
That's a missile down the left field line, fouled and caught down there. 1-1. Yeah.
You're welcome, fellas. I was, thinking of you, and I knew I'd have to send them right over. And it's funny because I got a text from my daughter, and she said, "Hey, can you bring the dessert home for me?"
Very nice.
Better get a big box. A 1-1. Slips from Eichhoff. 2-1. Jared Eichhoff against Kike Hernandez starting the 6th inning. Dodgers with single tallies against Eichhoff each of the last 3 frames. 2-2. Hernandez with an RBI double. That was in the 4th to tie it. He's really the only guy to get a ball over an outfielder in left or in center tonight with the way the wind is blowing. Just off of Altair's glove in left. Hits this ball well to center, but Herrera's there for the first out. And it appears Kenta Maeda will hit for himself, Oral, which means he'll be back out there for the 7th inning.
That's really encouraging. Dave Roberts showing conviction and confidence in Kenta.
Strike one. Hadn't gone into the 6th yet this year in his first 4 starts. And after a 1-2-3 6th inning in this one, he's poised to go 7, or at least into the 7th. 0-2.
The starting rotation has been sporadic at best. Clayton Kershaw every 5th day has been excellent, but they've been looking for another starter to be able to go beyond 5 even. Dave was saying they need these starters to start going deeper.
Reaches out and flips this one in the air to first for Tommy Joseph in the 2nd out of the inning.
With the 7-man bullpen nowadays that you have, if you get your starters to go 6, it starts to feel very comfortable down there. Clayton's been going anywhere from 7 to 9. Brandon McCarthy has gone deep and been excellent. The 1-2 punch there. Ryu has struggled at times to get deep into games, and Alex Wood's last outing has really vaulted him into a place where he's in the equation to stay in the rotation.
Tolles hits it foul, strike one.
But in general, Dave Roberts looking for one more inning, at least on average, from all the different starters to get deeper in the game, take a little pressure off the bullpen.
Kenta Maeda over the final 2 months last year pitched into the 7th 1 time. He finished 7 twice all year. Did it in his 3rd start against San Francisco. Did it in his final start before the All-Star break when he K'd 13 against San Diego. Tolles yanks one into right center for his 2nd hit of the day, and it appears Andrew Tolles has broken out of his slump.
You know, there's a couple of different ways when you're in a slump that the manager and the hitting coach think you're coming out. Quality at bats, deep counts, and hard hit balls that don't turn into out or hits. But I'll tell you what, with Tolles, he has not been hitting the ball hard, but now busting out tonight hitting the ball hard. So this has all come at once.
Seager's 0 for 2, even though he's hit it hard twice in the air to left. Wrong place to hit it tonight.
We have a special guest in the booth right now.
Wow, Mr. Lon Rosen. He must have heard there were fried Oreos up here.
I think that's what it is. Free food.
Dodgers CMO. Dodgers in front of the Phillies 3-2 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Trying to win back-to-back games, trying to get this homestand started off right. That's a ball on Seager.
If Lon eats one of the deep fried Oreos, he's going to have to go a little longer in spinning class tomorrow.
Here's a 1-0. Got in on him, 1-1. it'll be worth it.
You said it. You had 2 on the commercial break. That is an advertisement in itself. I think we could put a picture of you next to the fried Oreos here in the stadium where they're sold.
I'd be happy with that. 1-2. Eichhoff now 96 pitches, so likely nearing the end of his night. Single runs in the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th. Bullpen getting ready. Luis Garcia. The Phillies on this entire staff, rotation and bullpen, only have 1 left-handed pitcher. 2-2 on Seager. Tolles read that beautifully. Even though it didn't get far away from Rupp, he moves into scoring position.
One of the points of emphasis in spring training with the Dodgers was aggressive base running, wanting the players to understand how far they can push the envelope. The out at the extra base would not hurt them in spring training, but help them in the regular season. And Dave Roberts looking at really getting the edges in the game over the top for the Dodgers, coming so close last year, 2 wins away from being to the World Series, looking for every little edge in spring training to get better.
On 2-2, Seager bloops one and foul ground. The wind pushing it, but not far enough. And he lives to see another.
That's not a bad stat right there for a wrist. He does that for the rest of his career. That prediction by Adrian Gonzalez will come true.
The Hall of Fame one.
Yep.
Tolles at second, 2 gone in a 3-2 game. Dodgers trying to add on in support of Kenta Maeda. And another 2-2. Ball 3.
Sometimes you worry about your starting pitcher that's pushing through a limit as far as innings or pitch count, and then they have a long inning to sit and rest. But Kenta looks like he's doing just fine. Not stretching, just going through his normal activities.
100th pitch of the night. Seager fouls it off.
The other nice thing about the long inning is Kenta was part of it. He got to go up there and hit and loosen up in the on-deck circle. Just came back over there and now getting a nice rest.
So you prefer that if the inning goes long while you're the starter, that you're at least involved?
I would love to be involved. Yeah, it was a lot of fun to continue to do something athletically, even just to be in the on-deck circle and swing the bat.
Seager takes ball 4. He's walked for the 2nd time tonight. And Eichhoff's night coming to a close. Pete McCannon coming out of the dugout, making a change. Dodgers have 2 on with 2 out, and Justin Turner due to bat against the Phillies bullpen. Line is not. The 2 men on base, his responsibility. Leaves trailing 3-2 and hands it off to Luis Garcia, who's not given up a run in 4 games in the majors this year, allowing just 1 hit during that stretch.
To left-handers, mostly fastball splitter. To right-handers, with Justin Turner at the plate, is going to see more fastballs, sliders. And Justin very adept at going to right field, so if he keeps the fastball away and a slider away, he can try and shoot the ball that way. Justin a little frustrated from his last at bat where he had home run power but not home run distance because of the wind.
He's bummed Eichhoff is out. Owns him. Here comes Garcia. Strike 1. So Turner against Eichhoff now in his career 4 for 5 with a home run, a double, 2 singles, and then what would have been another home run, like you mentioned, had it not been directly into the wind. So it is more than just him running out of gas. It's who's at the plate now, causing the Phillies to go to the pen. Smothered in the dirt by Rupp, 1-1.
Doesn't shatter a pitcher's confidence and the thinking the manager doesn't trust you in a jam when all of a sudden a guy with these kind of stats comes to the plate. Pretty much know that it's just conventional thinking, and this would have been your last, that would have been your last hitter, Seager, no matter what.
Garcia, 30 years old, parts of 5 seasons in the majors, although he spent most of last year in the minors. Here he comes with a 1-1. And Turner takes ball 2. Too many of these opportunities have produced nothing for the Dodgers early on this season. A lot of 1-run losses where you can look back on these situations and say, what if just one more hit with runners in scoring position? Two and 2.
When you look at a team's on-base percentage or their batting average, you need to elevate that through the season. You know, you want it to move 20, 30 points if they're struggling in those areas. When it's getting a hit with a runner in scoring position during a series, if you can just get 1 or 2 more hits in a 3-game series or a 4-game series, you turn the whole record around.
Up and in on Turner, got away from Garcia at 100 miles per hour. That'll wake you up.
And you're glad this is not chin music, that this is like over his head, right out of his hand.
No thanks.
Go to any batting cage, put a helmet on, crank the machine as high as you want, and it's not that fast.
Happy Gilmore. Hockey season. A 3-2. Turner gets a piece. We'll do it again. Dodgers just to that point about the runners in scoring position and some missed opportunities. What it's led to is a 1-5 record in 1-run games. One of the ways, if you're trying to predict performance moving forward, though, that's a potentially predictive stat, and that it usually comes back to the norm. So you look at a 7-0 Rockies in 1-run games, you expect that to come back closer to 500. Dodgers trying to break out in close games. A 3-2. Turner yanks one in the air to left. Altair's back. He won't get this one. Tolles is in. Seager's in. Turner with a 2-run double.
It is now time for the Arco top tier play of the game, brought to you by Arco, and it's Justin Turner hitting approximately the same ball he did in his last at bat. This one he hits a little bit lower with a little more topspin and gets it over Altair. And you know, coming into this game, Justin Turner had only 1 home run in April in his career. Well, he would have topped that tonight without the wind. He would have had 2.
You think both those are out?
I think that one even goes out. Maybe with the topspin, maybe not. hits the wall in the air or the top of the wall, but the other one for sure.
So a 5-2 lead now. And Gonzalez climbs in, takes ball one. Justin Turner 3 more hits tonight. And his last 5 games is now 10 for 21. Longest hitting streak in the majors this year. He's done everything but homer. The 1-0. Behind it, 1-1.
The inning continues. Kenta Maeda, when everybody's high-fiving with the runs coming, he was down in the corner there working on his delivery. 16 minutes he's been off the mound, but had 1 at bat.
Now Adrian lines one to left, but Altair has this one. And the inning is over, but the Dodgers get 2 more on a Turner double and lead 5-2 as we go to the late innings.
May 3rd is a night you do not want to miss. Make your way out to Dodger Stadium. The first 40,000 fans in attendance will receive a Vince Scully microphone statue. And of course, his microphone is going to be retired onto the Ring of Fame. And it's just an exciting night, guys, because it's against the Giants, going back to Vin's days in New York with the rivalry. Make sure you're here with us because he's going to be in attendance. A great opportunity to celebrate and honor his historic career. There's some things you don't want to miss, so I'm told you need to get into your seats early, gentlemen. It'll be a fun night here at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, they're not even telling us everything, only that you're going to have to see it. You're going to have to be there.
A lot of surprises.
Aaron Altair leads off the 7th. Kenta Maeda pitching in the 7th inning and starting with a strike. Now, Vin's first game, and we've told this story before this year, but his very first game as a Dodger broadcaster came in Philadelphia against the Phillies. Fastball line back to Maeda, who spears it. Look what I found. 1 out.
Makes a good pitch, shatters the bat, and decides to field it all by himself. Oh, a little snow cone there, rolled right up. Watch his facial expression there at the end in the first replay. He was even surprised.
He's a really good athlete, Kenta
yeah.
Maeda. He's a Gold Glove winner in Japan. He was a soccer player before he was a baseball player. That was until his teenage years. Didn't really become really into baseball until Ichiro exploded over there. That's who helped him, as so many Japanese players a couple decades ago fall in love with the game of baseball. It's a pop up and 2 quick outs here in the 7th.
Kenta is very animated on the mound, catching that line drive, and right there on that pop-up, he started applauding, hitting his glove like he was a fan.
He can breathe a little bit easier after the 2 runs in the 6th inning. This is foreign territory for him here, pitching into the 7th. Could have felt like walking on eggshells had they not gotten those 2 runs for him. It's a strike in there to Cameron Rupp. Nothing in 1. Trying to go 7 full for the first time since early July of last year. But a base hit down the left field line from Rupp will bang off of the wall, and Rupp has a 2-out double.
He's hitting for the Phillies, number 15, Ty Kelly.
Fastball in the inner half, doesn't quite make it all the way there, even though the pitch cast says that it got to the corner. Rupp far off the plate there, pulled his hands in nicely, hit that line drive.
Josh Fields and Luis Avila warming. Love to see Kenta have a chance to finish this 7th inning, though.
We're going to check on Kenta right here with Rick Honeycutt. Rick's Japanese not at its best yet.
Wills is.
Kenta's English is getting better because he's nodding his head yes as Rick is talking before Will interprets. So kind of like Fernando when Fernando first came in. He didn't let on how much English he really knew.
It's the anniversary today, by the way, of Fernando Valenzuela establishing a major league record with a 41 consecutive scoreless inning streak to start a season. 1985. Ty Kelly, the pinch hitter here in the pitcher's spot. Ball 1.
I think right now there's only 10 complete games in the big leagues.
This year?
This year? In the whole big league.
Yeah.
Fernando had 8 in his first 8 outings.
Yeah, the 81 season. Up at second with 2 gone. And the 1-0 to Kelly. Outside, ball 2. It's very likely, can almost say definitively, this will be his final batter with the top of the order coming up next. Look at that. You two sitting right next to each other.
It's a 1-2 punch. I always knew I was a little bigger and stronger than Fernando.
For the first time ever, right there. The 2-0 and a strike, 2-1.
Dave Roberts and Rick Honeycutt grinding over what they're going to do here if Kenta loses this batter. They were having a conversation, looking over their note cards. That is what is known as top stepping it.
Pitch number 100 is strike 2.
Great catch by Yasmani to rescue that pitch. Yasmani's had a few pass balls this year because he tries to keep the glove here, but watch how he gets below this and just holds it.
Trying to finish off 7 full. And does with a strikeout. Dave Roberts applause. Kenta Maeda showing that Kenta emotion for the first time in 2017. Our unlimited baseball break is brought to you by T-Mobile. Elsewhere in the National League West, what has become the series of the weekend, Colorado and Arizona. Down in Phoenix, Rockies with a 3-1 lead, opening the day a half game behind Arizona, having lost 3 in a row to Washington, and San Francisco with a 1-run lead on San Diego. Dodgers up 5-2 in this one, the bottom of the 7th. Kenta Maeda, some well-deserved handshakes, high fives, stepping into that dugout with one of the best starts, not just this year, but of his career when you look at the stat line.
It's a great response to a very slow start, an 8 ERA coming into tonight, 1-2 record, and really had gotten pounded in his last outing with the home run ball. A very nice outing tonight to restore his own confidence and the organization's confidence in him.
A major league debut happening. Mark Leiter Jr., whose father pitched for the Phillies back in the 90s. The fastball is low and it's 1-0. So Kenta goes 7 full innings for only the 3rd time in his 37 major league starts. More significantly, like you said, in the context of what he was up against. This was the first time where, in his short career, but the first time where there was any kind of hint of wondering about Kenta's future. What does it look like his next time out? Does he make his next start? 2-1. What are your thoughts after watching him tonight?
I think, Dave Roberts said he's here for the long haul, and we didn't know if that was going to be moved to the bullpen to see if he can recover his stuff and his location.
Grandal with a big bouncer to Hernandez. 1 out.
And you see that right there in the corner of the dugout with Will and he smiling. That's a great relief for Kenta, and Will, not only his interpreter, but very close friend. Rick Honeycutt over there encouraging and talking about why they were successful tonight. And I'll tell you, he just, he needed this outing badly. It's a boost, and they've put in a lot of work. And sometimes I really worry, when you put in a lot of work in between starts to get better, that you're fatigued coming into your next start. But he showed a lot of endurance and a lot of arm strength here today.
Chase Utley, 1 for 3 in this one, taking strike 1. I think Chase, with some more consistent at-bats, has started to look more like himself this week.
Hitting the ball harder last 6 or 7 at-bats. Even though he hasn't seen the results of hits, he has definitely hit the ball harder and to different places, hitting the ball more to left field, to the left side of the diamond, instead of rolling over to the ball at second base.
Two and 1. Chase against his old team. 13 years in a Phillies uniform. Team that drafted him. More than 1,500 games as a Philly. Lifts a fly ball to left center field that Aaron Altair moves to for the 2nd out. So 2 up and 2 down in Mark Leiter Jr.'s big league debut. He and his dad, Mark Sr., become just the 2nd father-son combo in Phillies history. Ruben Amaro Jr. the first.
His father won 65 big league games, 17 of them for the Phillies.
Cody Bellinger takes low.
Remember Al Leiter? Al Leiter was his uncle.
Still is, I hear.
Yeah, he still is. You're right. Al's a friend of mine. Pitched alongside him when I was a Met for 1 year. He won 162 games. So there's a lot of wins in that family.
1-1 on Cody, who's reached all 3 times tonight. A walk and 2 hits. 2-1. It's a great Al Leiter story. Ron Santo, longtime Chicago Cub, one time had his hairpiece lit on fire at Shea Stadium. It's a ground ball to first. They will feed Leiter Jr., who gets to the bag in time But anyways, he sets his hair on fire in the heater over the press box, and he always found it really funny that Al Leiter was the starting pitcher that night.
Okay.
Dodgers' upcoming schedule brought to you by 76. 2 more with the Phillies, and 3 with the Giants. Vin Scully night on Wednesday. That caps the series. How about Kershaw-Cueto to open the series Monday?
You got to be here for something like that. I mean, Cueto's amazing to watch with his different deliveries and velocity, and he's one of the elite pitchers in the game, and he's going up against the best pitcher in the game in Clayton Kershaw.
Josh Fields comes in. Those are the top 2 earned run averages in baseball over the last, is it 5 or 6 years now?
Since 2011, I think.
Speaking of earned run average, Fields doesn't have one. 0-0-0 on to face the top of the Phillies order. 9th outing of the year begins with Cesar Hernandez. Ball 1. One and one.
Josh has done an outstanding job of pounding the strike zone, and got called up and didn't know how long he'd get to stay here. There's been a little bit of a juggling match down there in the bullpen. Different people. Pedro Baez getting healthy. Grant Dayton goes on the DL. Libator is now down.
Swatted to left. Bellinger has it for the first out.
In some ways, the guys in the bullpen, certain guys that have options, still feel like they're pitching to make the team, even though they're doing it up here at the big league level and they're gathering their stats. But every outing they go out there, they're trying to do their best and put up some numbers so that they can stay here. There's a lot of interchangeable parts down there in the pen.
Yeah, we're going to have a slight delay here. A beach ball got onto the field. A beach soccer ball. Soccer was one of Freddie's sports growing up. Played everything. Obviously baseball, but soccer, basketball, ran track. Played volleyball as well in Venezuela. Signed with the Phillies when he was 16. Made his major league debut after 6 years thanks to a Chase Utley injury. Opening the door for him. He bunts it, but firmly. Fields dives to knock it down and then throws wildly. Galvis hangs on at first.
Great effort by Josh Fields. Just a little upset with himself that he couldn't throw it accurately from his stomach.
Center fielder number 37, Odubel Herrera.
Osmani giving him a little breather after this effort and knock the wind out of you a little bit. You just want to get your heart rate back down before you start getting the signs and going back at it. But boy, that was a great athletic dive right there. Understanding if it gets to Chase Utley, it's going to be too late. I've got to make the effort.
And he did. Not too many times do you see pitchers with grass stains on the front of their jersey. One out base runner for the Phillies, and Odubel Herrera comes up. One of the cornerstones of this rebuild. They have him locked up through 2021. Field starts him with a curve that misses inside. He was a Rule 5 selection before the 2015 season. Formerly of the Rangers organization. A lot of times you see a guy in the Rule 5 draft and you can tell why. But with him, he won a AA batting title in 2014. He was the Venezuelan Winter League MVP. But he was blocked in that system. It's 1-1. Helmet almost pops off of that swing. A lot of infield depth, so they made him available in the Rule 5 draft. The Phillies claimed him, which means they had to keep him on the Major League roster for the entire season. He was pretty good as a rookie, but an all-star last year. Inside 2-1. Mentioned that he was blocked in the infield. Well, he's a center fielder for the Phillies. They've moved him. Started playing the outfield for the first time since he was a young kid, as soon as the Phillies signed him. And has worked with former Dodger Juan Samuel on that conversion. Same conversion Samuel made. 2-2. Samuel now the third base coach of the Phillies.
Sammy always does things suave. He's very smooth.
Two from Josh Fields to Odubel Herrera. Fouled off right by Samuel. This helped Odubel Herrera go from being an infielder to a Gold Glove finalist in the outfield. Consistent early morning sessions before everybody else is out there in spring training. Working on his outfield defense every day. Part of the reason why they were willing to lock him up long term. Guaranteed through 2021, but team options through 2023. Runner at first with one out, and Fields home 2-2. El Torito is his nickname as a little boy. Little Bull. His dad, Odubel Sr., gave him the nickname when he was a really young kid. He said he was, not because he was big and strong, but he was thick, a little bit chubby. So they called him El Torito. It's ready for another 2-2. Fouls another.
Doesn't take him long to get to know a pitcher and to be able to fight him off like this. He's got one of the highest on-base percentages against relievers. And usually that means you're only getting one at bat off of those guys on a given night. And he picks up the ball no matter what the delivery, no matter what the pitcher is doing. Has an idea how to get on base.
Fouled off several Fields offerings. Here's another 2-2 and another pop foul that will reach the seats.
Another thing that stat tells me is that he can catch up to a good fastball. Because the guys coming out of the pen are usually not soft tossers.
Yeah. Fields certainly isn't.
I'd love to see Josh spin a breaking ball and bounce it. You don't want to leave it up with that wind blowing out to right, but if you do decide to throw and you just get it down. He shook to the fastball. Yasmani wanted it. We've seen the Dodger relievers get into a pattern of fastball after fastball after fastball up in the strike zone and not have confidence to throw their off-speed pitches. Dave Roberts even commented on that in the loss in San Francisco when Ross Stripling was on the mound with Hunter Pence up there, if the fans remember, and threw about 7 or 8 fastballs at the top of the strike zone, and Pence started in an 0-2 count and finished with a sacrifice fly that beat the Dodgers.
Yeah, on the 10th pitch of that at-bat. Herrera winds up singling to the opposite field as they stuck with fastballs. And now Michael Franco will come to the plate representing the tying run here in the 8th.
He's fouling off the one by the letters, and then you bring it down to the waist. A little easier to put the whole barrel on it, and that's what he did. Timing it up was not a problem because he had seen enough of them.
Avilan.
A couple different things that can wear a bullpen out throughout the whole year. Starters going short, and an awful lot of work goes down there. And the second thing is when you're brought into the game not finishing your job. And that's not a finger at Josh Fields at all. That just tells you that if you have a clean inning, and you're going to have some rough days, the guys in the bullpen don't have to get up. And the next thing is they don't have to come in.
So tying run at the plate with one gone here in the 8th, and Fields to Franco with a pitch that's fouled straight back. Franco, a powerful hitter, 25 home runs last year, 4 home runs this year, including 2 grand slams already. So for 3 today. Former #1 prospect in the Phillies system, now in his 2nd full big league year. Grandal wants it up. Instead, down on a breaking ball, and runners advance to 2nd and 3rd. So either he was crossed up or he was flashing the glove up and then calling for the breaking ball.
I think you're right there, Joe. I think they were just trying to deke the guy at 2nd that we're going to flash it up, but we're really going to throw the breaking ball. Yasmani got down there to block it, but that ball had an awful lot of spin and fell very short of home plate and bounced up off the mask.
So things getting a little more interesting than the Dodgers would like here in the 8th. 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. A 1-1 count on Franco. First base open for Fields, who delivers. High fly ball to center. Tolles back on it. And with a wind, it's an out to center. Runners tag in advance. And it's a 5-3 game on an RBI sac fly from Franco.
The wild pitch cost the Dodgers a run right there. That ball was crushed. The wind held it up. The wild pitch got him into scoring position over to 3rd. Dave Roberts is going to make a change.
What the left-handed baddie Michael Saunders do next? Likely will be Avilan. It is.
Number 43, Luis Avilan.
Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com.
Back inside the Vin Scully press box. Vin Scully night coming up on this homestand Wednesday against the Giants. In the meantime, it's a 5-3 game. The Phillies have a runner at third with 2 gone in the 8th inning, and Luis Avilan comes in.
Important to get the club in the dugout right here. Save that 2-out RBI and stranded at third. Even though there's a left-hander and it's a left-on-left situation, Avilan will still default to the changeup. It is outstanding to both types of hitters.
Michael Saunders. Here it comes. Strike one. Avilan, a big inning of work yesterday in the extra innings win for the Dodgers. Induced a double play to get out of a jam. Herrera's at third. Running the bank on a sacrifice fly from Franco. The 0-1. There was the change, and it's 1-1.
This changeup really acts like a screwball. The bottom just drops out of it. Has tremendous arm speed, is able to spin the ball with all that arm speed. Here it comes again.
For strike 2.
Catchers are really good scouts sometimes. He threw that first changeup for a ball, and Yasmani's like, if I can just get that pitch right down the middle with that movement, there's no way you can hit that. But just because you threw it for a ball, but it had great action, and Yasmani scouts it himself and says, I want that one again. Just get it on the plate. Same thing.
Takes this one, 2-2.
And that's the biggest issue with Mr. Avilan. He doesn't believe that it has to be just right down the middle. If he can just believe that I've got such a good pitch, it's almost like Bruce Suter's split finger in my day. It's just an unhittable pitch. It doesn't have to be on the corner. Make it look like a fastball right down the middle and just let the bottom drop out of it.
See what he does, 2-2. Yank foul. We'll do it again. A little more like it.
Yeah, it was down the middle. It just wasn't one of those ones where it was low enough. So you got to give the hitter something. You got to give him height or you got to give him width. So on this one, he gave him both. The height was too high and the width was right down the middle. So he gave him both, and that's why he got a lot of barrel on it. But if you can give them the width, which is I'll give you down the middle, that'll start the bat. But I'm not going to give you height, and it's going to drop. The bottom's going to drop out of it, and that's when you really get him to swing the bat and miss.
So he broke his bat. Grabs a new one for a 2-2 count in a 5-3 game in the 8th. With Herrera at third and 2 gone. Here comes another changeup. And another foul ball. The run charged to Fields. The man at third, his responsibility as well. That is the first run that Fields has allowed this year in the majors. There's another 2-2. Inside, full count.
I don't mind him shooting for the corners with the fastball, but right here, if they go 3-2 changeup, throw right down the middle and low. Sped him up with the 2-2 fastball.
Down the right field line, but fouled again.
And that's where the speeding him up and then slowing him down helps you, because you're trying to throw a strike there or get it close. And at least he had him out in front because of the change in speeds. Went from 93 down to 83.
Altair on deck. Romo loose. Here's another 3-2 from Avilan to Saunders. And he got him. The changeup fell off the table. Gave him one Oral that looked like a strike, and it sure wasn't.
Right down the middle with the bottom dropping out of it. Like you're playing billiards right in the corner pocket.
An absolutely brilliant 7-inning performance from Kenta Maeda, exactly what he needed to do after the early struggles this season. Coming up next, Access Sportsnet Dodgers, brought to you by your Southern California Nissan dealers. John Hartung, Jerry Hairston Jr., and Ned Coletti break down Kenta's performance. We'll also talk about the red-hot Justin Turner, another 2 RBI day for him today, as well as perhaps a win in Game 1 of this 3-game set, guys.
All right, Alana, some defensive changes. Daniel Nava's in the game in left, and Aaron Altair will slide from left to right. New pitcher on the mound, Jeanmar Gomez, facing Kike Hernandez, who fouls the first pitch in the box, strike 1. 10th or 7th appearance, beg your pardon, for Gomez. The 10 I had popping into my head was where the ERA is near.
Fastball slider split. Kind of a low leverage situation for him right here to try and get it back on track for the Phillies.
One and one. Chris Taylor in the on deck circle. One and two. Gomez to Hernandez with a 1-2 that's outside, and the count evens up. How about the rest of this series? 6:10 tomorrow. Zach Eflin, who was a Dodger for a short period of time, involved in a couple of different trades. And Brandon McCarthy, who's been so good for the Dodgers this year. Full count. Sunday it's Ryu for the Dodgers. Phillies haven't yet announced a starter. And then again in the opener Monday against San Francisco, Kershaw, Cueto.
Colorado beat Arizona 3-1. The Giants got back in the winning column, beating San Diego 4-3.
So they climb out of the cellar. Now flip-flop with San Diego down at the bottom of the West. Here's a payoff. Fouled off. If the Dodgers can hang on to this, they'll be back to 500. They'll have won back-to-back games for the first time in 2 weeks, and would tomorrow be looking to win 3 in a row for the first time this year.
That feels like a long time coming. These guys want to get out of the every other one mess. Want to get on a roll, and no better time than when you're at home.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, 1 gone. MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. And get a free subscription to AtBat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. Dodgers 5, Phillies 3. 8th inning with 1 gone and the bases clear. Chris Taylor to bat. There is no way that Puig knows a camera is on him every time we see him do something funny in the dugout, which would lead you to believe that he is always doing something funny.
Or something.
Something, yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Ball and a strike on Taylor.
Does he have a little bit of that guy in the back of the classroom? Got something going on all the time.
A little bit, yeah. First day off for him tonight. He's the only guy that had started each of the first 21 games, 23 games. A 1-1 pitch. Taylor digs it out foul, 1-2.
If he wanted to play every day, never have a day off, all he has to do is on the off days, go sit next to Dave Roberts.
Yeah,
Drive him
that'll
crazy.
learn him, right?
Steve Sachs in my day would go and sit next to Tommy Lasorda on the days he give him off, and Tommy would say, I'm not resting you ever again. Just get away.
That's awesome.
Well, you're going to have to play me then. Just go sit right next to him. Drive him crazy for the whole game. He'll never rest you.
2-2. Yeah, I mean, Puig might be in the game in the 2nd inning in that case.
Yeah. Look, he'd be hitting him right now, talking to him, pounding him on the head. In between at bats, his time in the cage in a batting practice, he goes over and he just kind of beats up Turner Ward.
Back-to-back Ks for Gomez to open the 8th inning. It's him earlier tonight. He's capturing John Suhu, who has made a life out of capturing Dodgers.
Award-winning photographer.
Andrew Tolles at the top of the Dodgers order. There's John. Nobody better.
Of course, he's got the camera pointed at Puig because he's always doing something.
Tolles dribbles one to second, picked up by Hernandez. That'll end the Dodgers 8th. On to the 9th. Altair, Joseph, and Rupp. Kenley Jansen, 5 of 5 in save opportunities this year, and actually got the win in yesterday's game, pitching a scoreless bottom of the 9th inning to get it into the 10th where the Dodgers would win it.
You know, one of the most amazing stats that I've read about Kenley Jansen is since the 2016 All-Star break, he has struck out 50% of the right-handed hitters he's faced. That's ridiculous. That's number 1 in the big leagues, of course.
Bottom part of the order for the Phillies here. Facing Philadelphia for the 19th time in his career. First one to Aaron Altair in the 9th inning. Strike 1. Appeared twice in San Francisco, got a 4-out save, and then that win yesterday. Quickly 0-2. Strikes him out on 3 pitches, 1 away in the 9th.
Average pitcher in the big league strikes out a right-handed hitter about 20% of the time. Kenley does it over 50% of the time.
Native of Curacao, trying to move to 6 for 6 in save opportunities this year. Now Tommy Joseph, the 7-hitter. Locked in so far tonight. 4 pitches, all of them strikes. In an hour earlier tomorrow night, 6:10. Eflin for the Phillies, McCarthy for the Dodgers. Here comes an 0-1. Quickly 0-2.
A couple of these cutters are backing up a little bit unless Kenley's deciding just to go with a straight 4-seamer because they're expecting the ball to go away from them, these right-handed hitters, but it's actually tailing a little bit inside.
His first ball. Starting to feel like we might be on our way to an immaculate inning, the way he was firing them in there. 4 Dodgers have done that. Koufax did it 3 times. Hasn't happened since Todd Worrell did it in 1995. That being striking out the side on 9 pitches. A 1-2. That one's a slider, and it's 2-2. Phillies struck first tonight with 2 runs in the 3rd. On a Freddie Galvis double against Kenta Maeda. That is all he allowed. Dodgers getting single runs in the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th. And 2 in the 6th on his double. The 2-2 pitch. Fouled back. Phillies got 1 in the 8th against Josh Fields, but that's all. Luis Avilan striking out Michael Saunders to strand a man at 3rd. Now Kenley trying to finish it off.
I'm sure that is now part of Kenley's scouting report. The quick pitch. And the scouts to sit right behind home plate and watch the games on the TV. Ones that aren't traveling. Kenley has started to show that once or twice an inning.
Another 2-2 pitch. And back-to-back Ks for the first 2 outs of the 9th. The Phillies are not away from seeing their 6-game winning streak come to an end at Dodger Stadium.
They'll be sending another right-handed hitter up there for this challenge. If you're going to swing at it at shoulder height, you're not going to have very much of a chance against the big fella. Velocity and movement blew by you.
Kenley Jansen this year now 15 strikeouts and no walks. Cameron Rupp, last hope for the Phillies. Here comes Kenley. Strike one. Dodgers trying to win back-to-back games for the first time in 2 weeks since they began the homestand last time around with 2 wins against Arizona. It would be just the 3rd time this season they've won back-to-back contests. They'd set up a chance tomorrow to win 3 in a row for the first time this year. Jansen's 0-1. Inside, ball 1. Corey Seager bobblehead giveaway tomorrow night.
Yeah, we've got a lot of different occasions coming up. Corey Seager bobblehead, Vin Scully night. The Monday game, Cueto against Kershaw.
1-2, took one down the middle.
You come out and watch a game at Dodger Stadium this homestand, you might just see these guys starting to hit their stride. Offense looking like it's going to wake up. Kershaw got a chance to be in the middle of a winning streak. And what a night it will be when Mr. Scully's here. May 3rd.
2-2. That's tomorrow's Phillies starter, Zach Eflin, 6'10", here in Los Angeles. Crowd of around 47,000 rising here in anticipation of the final out, hoping Kenley can strike out this side for his 6th save. Here he comes. And the Dodgers open the homestand with a 5-3 win. 7 innings from Kenta Maeda. Justin Turner's 2-run double proves to be the difference in 5-3 in the final.
A little bit of a bump in the road at the beginning for Kenta, then he settled right in and went as far as he could and did a great job. The offense came through, especially Justin Turner with extending his hitting streak, and then Kenley Jansen punch out, punch out, punch out to knock him out and finish the W.
Our Lexus player of the game is Justin Turner. 3 more hits tonight. A 2-run double, which at the time seemed like it was just to make it look a little nicer on the scoreboard. Wound up being the difference as the Phillies got a run late. Ripped that one over Altaire's head and left. Brought home 2. And 5-3 your final scores. The Dodgers get back-to-back wins and have now won 3 of their last 4. For Oral Hershiser, Lana Rizzo, Nomar Garcia-Parra, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium. Can't wait for tomorrow night. Game 2 of this 3-game series. Game 2 of this 6-game homestand. Sportsnet Dodgers comes up next.